It seems the negotiating still needs to keep continuing. I want to show you something. So this lane right here is supposed to be open, but you can see over there protesters have blocked it off with cars, and even on the other side some chairs, and they're actually guarding it, saying regardless of what the city says, they don't feel safe with the lane open.
I feel like it's another tactic to try to divide us up.
Just hours after 4,000-pound concrete barriers lined the chop zone, opening up one lane of traffic, some protesters have already blocked it off. Still Our Streets read one of the messages on the barriers. Protest leader Rooks is questioning the move.
The barriers are right now is literally in the middle of the area that we fought for. So is it helping us, or are you guys trying to push us out of the area?
Fire Chief Harold Scoggins says the barriers are meant to protect protesters in the chop zone from people who may want to drive through crowds.
You know, I had significant concerns over fire and life safety.
Plus, the barriers open up one lane of traffic around the zone so people who live there can get to their homes, businesses can operate, and emergency vehicles can respond.
This now hopefully brings the narrative back to the message and not focus on the space.
A space protesters say they won't give up.
We went from a whole street to a half a street. Now it feels like we're sharing it with the same people we're trying to negotiate with.
Chief Scoggins has been to the zone every day. I asked him why he felt compelled to go beyond public safety concerns.
There's a lot of young people in there, and some of them look like me. And the last thing I want to have on my heart as a public safety official is something bad happen in that place for all of those young men and women who are trying to express their First Amendment rights.
Snohomish City Hall remains shuttered because of the pandemic, but that didn't stop a heated debate about what residents think is wrong and right with the city.
Gun-toting militia plus fear plus hate plus misinformation does not equal safety.
We appreciated the quick response of the patriots who voluntarily came to protect our people, streets, and businesses.
The virtual city council meeting included more than 3 hours of public comment, all focused on the fallout from May 31st, when armed citizens occupied the historic district and vowed to protect the shops from a leftist threat that never showed up. Some of those toting guns were also seen drinking alcohol.
What if 500 Antifa rioters showed up to burn down the town as threatened, and we weren't there?
Your actions and some of your inactions have emboldened racists in our town.
Many decried the armed citizens as bigots, pointing to the presence of a Confederate flag at the gathering, though some defended it.
We saw one Confederate flag, which to many is simply a symbol of Southern pride.
The police chief has already been reassigned, and while a few spoke in support of Mayor John Kartak, others are demanding that he step down.
You have failed me as a mayor. You are a disgrace, and you need to go.
More and more places are offering free COVID-19 testing. Now, health officials urge people to get tested, especially if they've been around large gatherings or large groups recently, and you don't even have to show symptoms. An ocean of people marched shoulder to shoulder during the Black Lives Matter silent march in Seattle last Friday. It was nearly impossible to stay 6 feet apart from a fellow demonstrator. Health professionals say protesters should go get tested for COVID-19 now.
Even if you're out with a mask, I still think if there's a lot of shouting and yelling in your area and you're in other people's breathing space, come get tested.
Bellevue College kicked off its new drive-through testing today. QFC and Fred Meyer pharmacists are on hand to help you do the self-test, which is a nasal swab.
You let me know when you're ready. You don't have to necessarily have symptoms if you've been exposed because you're out at the protests or you're out in a large group gathering. Or if you're part of the police or first responders, you can sign up and come through and be tested.
Yeah, I'm worried, yeah.
Han Lai signed up to get tested today. He's a construction worker and worried about his health. He and many others agree the test is free, it's fast, and it's easy.
Yeah, it's good, great.
The city of Seattle has partnered with UW and King County Public Health to offer free drive-through COVID-19 testing in 2 places, Aurora and Soto.
The sites are really busy.
They also have 2 mobile vans like this one headed to communities seeing much higher incidence of COVID-19. UW also stresses people who gather in large groups, especially protesters, to pay close attention to their health.
Anna Safavi is choosing to homeschool her 2 kids for the upcoming school year, saying she's worried about the social dynamics of physical distancing, adding that it would be difficult for her future first grader to wear a mask.
I know that he's going to
have more anxiety about that. He's already a pretty high anxiety child.
On top of wearing masks and doing physical distancing, the new state requirements for schools reopening this fall include thorough sanitizing of classrooms and buses, frequent hand washing, and screening students and staff for COVID every day. While every school across the state must implement these requirements for in-person learning this fall, it's up to each district to decide what model of education they want to do, whether it's going back to school full-time, part-time, doing all virtual learning, or a combination approach.
Do you think it's reasonable to expect that some of these smallest students would be able to comply with social distancing and masks?
I would say yes, because they're probably getting used to that already at home. It's a different world.
Tim Robinson with Seattle Public Schools says his district has been doing in-depth discussions on what the new academic year could look like. He says they'll release more specifics on what families can expect this Friday.
All sorts of different scenarios for this that we're working hard to get clarity on, and I'm going to have the announcement on Friday.